So you're still here with me on SW20 Country Music Show, and we're here every Tuesday from 9 o'clock. And every week we are hoping to bring you live interviews with people from the UK and American country music scene. And I'm glad to say joining me on the phone right now is Malcolm MacWatt. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Very, very well indeed, Carl. Thanks.
So, Malcolm, you've just released your EP, Hearts and I've got the title.
It's called Hearts and Horizons.
Hearts and Horizons, that's right. And that's a four-track EP.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at your back catalogue. So you've released an album pretty much the last 3 years. You had, one for the last 3 years, and then this is the first EP you've released, is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I've actually released 3 albums since November 2018. So I've been pretty prolific. I just released an album in January, and we got on so quickly with the recording that I had a bit of cash left over, so I did the EP.
Oh, brilliant! Well, my next question wants to be why the EP so soon after the album.
Yeah.
So we've been talking on social media, and you mentioned to me that last year you penned like a few hundred songs and recorded about 40?
About 40 of them.
So that must be quite the creative process for you. Then you must find it quite simple, quite easy. Do songs come easy to you?
I think some do. I think I've learned to not worry about it. I just let the songs come. I'm not saying out of those 200 songs that I wrote last year that everyone was gold. I just let them come and go if that's what it needs to be. So it's I wouldn't say it was easy. I think it takes a lot of work, and it takes a lot of just trying to not get too bogged down in the writing process and just move on when something sticks, because you can always come back to it later on, so it's about keeping a positive frame of mind, I think, more than anything.
Yeah. So you're currently based down in London now, are you?
Yeah.
Originally from the top end of Scotland, up in Elgin in Murray.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of different being down in London to being up in Elgin, I suppose. Is it better for the music scene being in London?
Probably before I came down, I would have said I thought it would have been, but actually the London music scene's quite small. I know, certainly on the country scene, I know just about everybody on that scene now, and and I've only been playing that scene for just over a year. I think it's harder finding musicians interested in the type of music that I like playing, so it's very difficult to find. I'm so lucky. I've got a drummer, and I've got a bass player who's quite keen on on the stuff we do. But but I mean, both of those guys could easily be in 10 bands. There's such a shortage of them. So
obviously your style at the moment is country. Scotland isn't prolific when it comes to country music. We had Thomas Fraser, who was only really successful after his death, like in the early 2000s, and Ian Prairie, who was more of a fiddle player than a country singer.
Yeah.
So how does someone from Scotland? What was your influence to move into the country?
I think probably I would say that I'm alt country. I dabble, around the peripheries of country. So in some ways, I think that's been quite good for me, because I'm not one version of country or another version of country. I'm always just my own version. I think in Scotland, probably when I grew up, there were a couple of country bands, and I knew some members of a band called Gambler, and some of those guys were doing okay on the Irish and country scene. And that's probably, I think, the main name I always remember was people like Sidney Devine and stuff, which is probably not my kind of country, but definitely, I think, when I was 12 years old, I heard the Johnny Cash Live at San Quentin album, and that was it. that was it. You know, as far as I was concerned, I was just absolutely into country, and even as I moved into other, you know, because I started learning the electric guitar and stuff. So, you know, I was really influenced by Neil Young, hugely influenced by Jimmy Page of Led Zeppelin, and even Led Zeppelin. You know, they always had a few country sort of songs in their repertoire. So I think that's really how I got interested in country.
When you mentioned those last two there, the last album, was it Dial It Back? Was that this year's album?
Yeah.
There's a significantly different sort of sound to that to the previous two. You seem to have gone back to like that kind of 70s kind of sound.
Absolutely, yeah. Oh, totally. It was. I think when I had all these songs, some of the songs were country, some of them were definitely not country. I needed something to hang them all on. As far as our producer was concerned, and we settled on the year 1975, which was the year that I really started to take the guitar seriously, and so at that time we had the Stones, we had Tom Petty, we had some Graham Parsons. There was some absolutely classic country rock happening so it was we sort of channeled a bit of that, and I think the album's really it's hit I think it's hit a nerve, not a nerve, but it's appealed to a lot of, especially guys of my age, so guys in their 50s, they really get that album, so
amazing. Yeah, because like I said, I listened to your stuff before we come on today, and when I got to that album, I went, okay, wow, this is like different to the last two. And I think right there, we said 1975, that makes sense. It does definitely feel, I mean, obviously I'm not a child of the 70s, but it definitely sounds like a classic 70s album.
Yeah.
And it's a really good listen, as is Hearts and Horizons. There's a couple of tracks on there which I always find that the best songs are the ones which transport you into the song. So you can, what's what I like about the lyrics of country music, because they do tell a story. So you can almost picture a music video. You can picture every sort of road that the car's driving down, or the story is being told. And say Hearts and Horizon, there are a couple of tracks on there which really took me personally on a journey that I could be in the van, but suddenly I'm in Nashville or wherever the song is set, and it's a really great EP. But outside of the EP stuff, obviously at the moment live gigging isn't happening because of obviously the situation right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I have seen obviously you getting involved with the SW20 Country Introduces this week. But on the weekend, you were on the DC Brown Live Virtual Writers Festival. And I watched that as a viewer, and I found it fascinating. It was such a different experience to what you normally see with live streams, having multiple artists on in 1 hour slot. How did you find it?
Well, I'm very used to doing writers' rounds. Funnily enough, I was on with a guy called Jamie Bell from Backwoods Creek, and a guy called Lars Pluto. So Lars I'd never played with before, but Jamie I have in a writer's round. And so the writer's rounds they're great because you're sitting there playing your songs, you're hearing other people's in a very intimate setting, and they're explaining where their songs come from. And I love that type of thing because you get to respond. If somebody's maybe playing something, if there's been a couple of quick songs before, then you can think, you know what, I think I'll do something different. They're a great way to really engage with an audience. It was strange doing one of those without the noise of a pub and without that energy that you get from a crowd. But you know what? That was my very first ever live stream, and I don't think I panicked too much. Yeah.
Do you find that without the noise of a crowd, that it does feel a bit more intimate? Okay, it's just the three of you, and there's no background noise.
It is maybe intimate, but at the same time, from a player's point of view, I mean, the thing I love the most as a songwriter and performer is looking out into a crowd and seeing how people are responding to the songs. I've got certain songs where I always know if there's a group of guys in the audience, they'll be digging at each other and going, "He's singing about you. That's you. He's singing about there." You know. So, and I kind of, from the live streaming, I miss that direct connection with people. But you know, it's the best. It's the best of a situation at the moment. Sure. So you know, it's.
And finally, just before we hear one of the tracks from Hearts and Horizons, are there plans for more EPs this you know, while we're in this situation? Have you got time to sort of to do anything? Are you writing more songs?
Yeah, well, I'm in the fortunate position of having my own home studio. Having said that, the last 2 albums I've done were recorded in a proper studio, which is expensive and takes a lot of time. But yes, I absolutely love traditional classic country and bluegrass, and I play the banjo, I play the fiddle, I play the dobro. So whilst we're in lockdown, I've got a Christmas song I really want to do. I've never done a Christmas song ever.
So we're in April. Yeah. We're already thinking Christmas songs.
Well, I mean, I think I've had gigs that I've been waiting a year for, and I've been really excited about them, and I've seen them disappear in a puff of smoke right before my eyes. So it's a case of, for me, I could have got really despondent about that, and I thought, nah, you know what, I'm just looking forward to the next step. You know, so in the event that we miss summer, I mean, I hope we don't, but then I'm looking towards Christmas, and you know, so yes, I'm going to have something out, but it'll be a home recorded, very country EP probably. You know.
Okay, that sounds brilliant. Well, thank you for coming on the show, Malcolm.
Thank you.
Pleasure talking to you.
Thank you for inviting me.
And what track should we play from the Hearts and Horizons EP now?
Well, I think I've had a fantastic response to the song "Raining Down in Nashville." I think that's really appealed to so many people. The song's about grief in general, but it was really, it came about, there was a young country singer who towards the end of last year, she was killed in a car crash in the States on the way to a music festival. And you know, this is a girl in her late 20s, and you know, a sort of rising star of the country. And so whilst it's not specifically about her, I tried to get that idea of raining down in Nashville, you know, Nashville being the spiritual home of country, that even the city was mourning her loss, you know. So, and on a personal level, it, you know, I think it does hit a nerve with some people. So yeah, I think that's a song I would like you to play. If
that's great. Okay, so that was Malcolm MacWatt, and this next track, as chosen by him, is going to be "Raining Down in Nashville." Thank you, Malcolm.
Thank you very much.